What is going on, fantasy world? This is the Commissioner Flex. Gonna get this into what I like to call here the fantasy flex. We run through this show every week. Something I like to do for my fantasy leagues. Make sure I keep them active, keep it going, keep everybody wanting to check in and all that. If it's your first time to a fantasy flex, welcome. To others that have been in prior leagues, this is the baseball edition, baby. You're getting into it. Basically, let me get up into the standings. That's how we do it every week. We'll go ahead and run through the standings and see where everybody's at. Then we'll go through the matchups. And I also got trophies in this league, so we'll run through the trophies as well. In the American division, you got the Tigers and the Rays, both 1-0. And then you got the Dodgers, the Brewers, and the Yankees, myself, all one game back at 0-1. Now moving on over to the National League, you got the Mets, the Phillies, and the Cardinals, all 1-0. And then you got the Braves and the Giants, both one game back at 0-1. So that wraps up that portion of the show. This show should be pretty short. It's pretty much like an introduction, preview. I'll go ahead and get into last week's matchups as well. Last week's matchups, you had the Cardinals taking on the Yankees. The Cardinals take on that matchup with a score of 8-6. The Rays taking on the Dodgers. The Rays won that one with a score of 9-4-1. Then you had the Phillies taking on the Braves. The Phillies killed that one, as you guys will see later and hear later, with a score of 10-3-1. Then you had the Brewers taking on the Detroit Tigers. The Tigers came out on top with a score of 8-5-1. And then you had, in the last matchup of the week, the Mets taking on the Giants. The score on that one was a crispy 9-5. Go ahead and flip this over since I got the script. This is basically week 2 matchup preview, which is currently underway right now since we do have a game going on, which is Kansas City and Detroit. Score 0-0. But let's go ahead and check out the matchups for week 2. This is the preview. You got the 0-1 Yankees taking on the 0-1 Brewers, which basically means that you're going to get a winner out of that, and somebody will not have a loss unless you get the dreaded tie, which, like I said, I hate ties. They're a pain in the ass. They screw everybody in the standings and all that. Second matchup of this week, which is, like I said, currently underway. Check your scoreboard tabs to keep tabs on what's going on and who's doing what in the league, as well as the league messenger tab, which will basically tell you what's going on in transactions and all that if you got waivers and claims and you want to do all that. But let me move on to the matchups for the previews of week number 2. Like I said, you got the 1-0 Phillies taking on the 1-0 Rays, so somebody should walk out of that with a loss. Could create space in the division race. Let's see what goes on there. Then you got the Dodgers, who are 0-1, taking on the Tigers, who are 1-0. Fourth matchup of the week puts the 1-0 Cardinals against the 1-0 Mets. I mean, I would say undefeated, but it is only one game into the season. And the final matchup of the week, somebody's getting a win out of this one. You got the Braves 0-1 taking on the Giants 0-1. Somebody will have a win, like I said, unless you get a tie, but I'm hoping for the win. And this is basically just a league note. I've been getting emails and phone calls and spoke to a couple guys in the league. As far as the categories, some people were saying how they were getting beat in 2 categories with save holds and hold saves and all that. Basically, what I'm doing is I'm scrapping the saves category altogether. It's going to be saves holds. That way it does not penalize anybody that drafted or went out and signed the setup man. And by getting rid of the saves, I'm putting in innings pitched. I know there was some controversy at the beginning, but innings pitched originally did win the poll when I put out the poll for the saves holds and the innings pitched. So I'm sticking with that. That was the first one. It actually helped out a matchup. My matchup with the Cardinals this week, we wound up tying 7-7, and this right here basically broke the tie. So, and it was, I mean, it pretty much needed to be done. It's not going to reward streaming due to the fact that I know the Tampa Bay Rays don't stream, and they've had 93 innings pitched. So it all depends. I mean, you got good pitchers. They're going to stay out there for the innings. Some players, like I said, drafted mid-relievers, setup men. So those guys will pitch every day. And I'm just keeping it, man. It's a good difference breaker, and it didn't bring out a tie this week. And like I said, the only outcome that it affected as far as wins and losses was my matchup with the Cardinals, where I think I lost 8-6 in that matchup, and the difference was, I think, 2/3 of an inning. So, I mean, it wound up being the icebreaker there. And now let me move on since we're 5 minutes up into the show. I don't know what happened to the music, so I'm going to have to kick that back on. Forgot to put it on repeat, as a matter of fact. but that was cool. It kept it quiet for the announcement. Let it rain one more time as we go into the trophies. Normally I do like league leaders and stuff like that, but I didn't have trophies in my NBA leagues last year, so I'm just going to go every week instead of doing through the league leaders and running through everybody's total stats or what place you're in. I'm just going to do trophies because the trophy will basically tell you who did what that week and everything. So let's get to it. First trophy, that goes to the Phillies. That trophy is I get it in. I get it in basically means you scored the most runs that week. The Phillies scored 57 runs. And we're going to move on to the next category, or the next trophy. That is the going, gone trophy. That is for the most home runs on the week. That goes to the Cardinals with 20 home runs on last week's matchup. Just straight bangers in that team. The Ribby, one of my favorites, just because if you haven't seen the Ribby, go into the thing. It's a fat stack of ribs, and I just think it's funny because everybody calls them Ribbies. You know what I'm saying? RBIs, whatever you want to say. But the Cardinals also took that one along with the home runs, like I was saying at first. The Ribbies, he had 55 Ribbies on the week. The Touch 'em Up trophy, that goes for the team that had the most total bases last week. That went to the Philadelphia Phillies with 171 total bases that got touched last week. Next trophy is that we got a runner trophy. That is for the most steals on the week. That trophy goes to the Mets. Big ups for the anthem. Big ups to doing your thing in the basketball league. I know I haven't done the show for the basketball league, but I'm going to try and take care of that this week. Spring break was crazy last week. Kids running around everywhere, couldn't take care of some things. But moving back up into the trophies, you got better than your average. This trophy is basically, as it says, he got the best average in the league last week. That average with a 310 average went to the Los Angeles Dodgers. They killed it last week in the average. The Can't See Me trophy is for the strikeouts. Most strikeouts last week went to the Rays with 74 Ks. And then the Iron Horse trophy, which is, I'm pretty glad that innings pitched got thrown back in there because this was one of my favorite trophies that I found. The Iron Horse is basically the innings pitched. It's an Iron Ferrari trophy. I think it's tight because I like it. But the Rays took that one with 93 innings pitched, like I was saying before. And moving on to the back end, we got the last few trophies. The Top of the Mountain trophy, that goes to the most wins, pitching wins in the week. That also went to the Rays, so the Rays is cleaning up and pitching this week. The Get Them Out of the Game trophy, that goes to the team that has the most losses. That's a negative trophy star. There's a tie, so being that there's a tie, I'm not going to determine tiebreakers like I did last week and doing, or last year, how I was doing, based on your average and stuff like that. If you tied, you're both going to get the trophy. That way, it's even, you know what I'm saying? You guys have both that stat, you guys both deserve that trophy, same as if it was RBIs, home runs, you know what I'm saying? You hit those and you tie with somebody, you both get the trophy. That trophy, Get them out of the game, the most losses, with both 5 losses each on their squad. One trophy goes to the Brewers, second trophy goes to the Rays. And let me wrap this up because I got like 2 minutes left on the show. I'm surprised I'm taking this long. The That Spells Relief trophy, funny trophy. That's a keeper from last year. If you haven't seen the trophy, it's got Tommy Lasorda on a Rolaids ad. It's pretty hilarious. And that trophy goes to the team that had the most save holds, the category that stuck. Originally it was for saves, but I scrapped the hold up trophy and just made it this one since I like this trophy. I had 10 save holds last week. If you want to get specific, I had 9 saves and 1 hold from Jabba Chamberlain. The Yankees take that trophy. And the Throwing Up Donuts trophy, that's a donut trophy for the best ERA. That goes to the Phillies with a 2.59 ERA last week. The I Killed It trophy and the This Week's Stinker trophy, those trophies pretty much go hand in hand. The team that killed it was the Phillies. The team that got killed was the Braves. That was this week's stinker. And the score in that matchup was 10-3-1. This has been the Fantasy Flex. Hope you guys enjoy. Hope you guys tune in. And Flex is out.